The joke. Last Friday, we were at Ben's place again, pizza boxes everywhere, a couple of empty soda cans rolling on the floor, and that familiar atmosphere where you know someone's about to say something ridiculous. Ben looked at me and said, "Mike, last week's parrot joke was funny. But I want something epic this time." I leaned back, took a sip of soda, and said, "All right, but this one's a bit of a journey. So there's this guy, George, who buys a horse from a farmer for $500. The farmer says, you can ride him anytime you like, but there's something you should know, this horse only goes if you say, 'Thank God,' and only stops if you say, 'Amen.' George thinks this is hilarious, but he agrees. A few days later, he decides to test it. He climbs onto the horse and says, 'Thank God.' The horse bolts forward at full speed. George laughs, enjoying the ride, until he realizes they're heading straight for the edge of a massive cliff. Panicking, George yells, 'Whoa! Stop! Halt! Cease! Brake!' But nothing works. Then, just as the cliff edge is meters away, he remembers. 'Amen,' he shouts. The horse stops dead, dirt and pebbles tumbling over the edge into the canyon below. George breathes heavily, wipes the sweat off his forehead, looks up to the sky, and says, 'Thank God.' The room exploded. Ben fell off the couch. I laughed so hard I couldn't even breathe. The thing about a good joke isn't just the punchline, it's letting people think the story's over, and then hitting them with the final twist. "Mike," Ben said once he stopped choking on his laughter, "you're like a stand-up comedian trapped in a pizza party." And honestly, I'm fine with that.
Last weekend, my friend Anna told me she was starting a super healthy diet. She said she'd cut out all sugar, fat, and processed food. I was impressed. 2 days later, I visited her, and she invited me in for tea. While I waited, I noticed a plate of cookies on the table. I said, "Anna, I thought you weren't eating sugar." She smiled and said, "Oh, I'm not. Those are for my neighbor." Then she sat down, took one, and said, "But my neighbor's not here right now."